WBAY TV, your first alert station. Action 2 News This Morning live stream starts now.
Hey there, good morning on this Thursday. Welcome to our Action 2 News This Morning live stream. After the show, I'm Tammy Elliott.
And I'm Emerson Lehman. Great to have you with us for an extra 20 minutes or so of some news conversation this morning, starting on a first alert weather day for more fog. We've been dealing with, the freezing temperatures. We had a blizzard 2 weeks ago, and now the fog just causing some issues. Wisconsin weather, right?
Second day in a row, Steve, for this.
We're just trying to keep you on your toes, right?
Mother Nature in Wisconsin.
Right. But I just feel this sense of deja vu because we saw this yesterday. It's just repeating itself. Behind me, I've got 6 sky cams up. You can pick your favorite town. The visibility is a little bit different here and there across northeast Wisconsin. And when I came into work this morning, and Aisha, you can attest to this, when she came into work, she said when she was going north on 41, she was scared because the fog was that thick. She said, you said you wanted to turn around.
Yeah,
right?
it's scary.
Yeah. But, since then, the visibility in the Fox Valley has gotten better. It's not as bad in Green Bay. It's not as bad in Appleton. But look at Manitowoc. It's like pea soup. And you're right at 32 degrees. So the visibility is going to change across the area. Up through 9 o'clock, east central Wisconsin is under a dense fog advisory. Look at our visibility map. Visibility is down to a quarter of a mile in around Manitowoc and Sheboygan. And the air and pavement temperatures are right at 32 degrees. And that always has me concerned because it's not just fog, it's freezing fog. So for the rest of the morning, I've got your severe weather outlook low, but it's very close to moderate. With the dense fog, slow down, use the low beam headlights, and give yourself some extra travel time. Catherine always tells us like an extra 5 or 10 minutes sometimes makes a big difference out on the roads.
I really like that view with the 6 different boxes. There are sky cams because it just shows you the difference across the area. I know we kind of all compare notes on our drive in. When I open my door and I'm in like rural De Pere, open my garage door and I'm like, I can barely see my neighbor's house, across the street. So it really does vary.
That Manitowoc sky cam compared to some of the other spots, it looks like when you're waking up early in the morning, rub your eyes all groggy, and that's just how they're waking up this morning. Steve.
I think any of us early birds go through that every now and then. So we've got fog this morning, and then later today our attention will shift to some rain. This is our next weather maker that's going to be coming in. We're going to have some cold rain falling in northeast Wisconsin, a chance tonight through Friday, and there might even be some wet snow mixed in. Really, that's the wild card. We're not as certain about the wet snow, but we are very certain that later today and tonight, rain is going to come in from the south and west. And it's going to be generally right around 32 degrees in the north, where you could have that wet snow mixing in. And what Pinpoint Predictor at times has been trying to push those flakes into the Fox Valley for Friday afternoon and Friday evening. Again, that's a wild card. There's not a lot of certainty, but we're going to continue to track that information very closely.
Anything to look forward to the next 7 days, Steve? I mean, I know we've kind of got a hit of everything. The snow, the slush, the little bit of sunshine maybe. What are we looking at?
I almost feel like, okay, so there was a movie that came out years ago. It was LA Story with Steve Martin. And he was an LA weatherman. And he went to the weather wall and threw sun, sun, sun. Well, we don't live in Los Angeles, right? We live in Wisconsin, and it's late January. So clouds, clouds, clouds. It's exhausting. It's exhausting to have this much cloudy weather. There's a few glimpses of sun in the 7-day forecast. Look at those highs. Mid and upper 30s. Our snow depth right now is 7 inches in Green Bay. We've been losing about an inch per day. So it makes you wonder, what is our snow depth going to look like by the time we get into about the first day of February? These are the last 7 days of January. So Thursday is the first day of February. What is our snow depth going to look like then? It may not be very much.
That's unfortunate because we have everyone who wants to get out and enjoy winter, snowmobile, ski trails, all that.
Emerson, you said, what are we looking forward to? I know it's not that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's winter though. It's a roller coaster in Wisconsin. We'll see what happens.
Hang in there, man.
We're going to head over to Catherine Bracho now. She's tracking the traffic this morning on this first alert weather day. The fog out there, Catherine, making things pretty tricky in spots, and it's important to remember some important reminders as well out there.
Yeah, so Emerson and Tammy, I before we came on the air at 4:30 this morning, I was talking to Steve about, which I often do, where might be a good spot to show in terms of the fog. And he said it's really tough to say because it can be so variable. So I just was looking at all the cameras around northeast Wisconsin. Earlier we were looking at some in Oshkosh, but those are a bit better now. This is Sheboygan. I want to show you this here. This is I-43 at the Highway 42 interchange. And this is actually even better than it was a few minutes ago when we looked at it. So the overpass there, that's the interstate. But then down below where you see the roundabout, that's Highway 42. And you can see that it's a little bit thicker down there. And fog can really change with elevation, guys, and change, depending on if you get just a touch of wind. We don't have much today. That's why we have so much fog in part. But, that fog can really shift. So if you are hearing about your area around work, maybe your coworkers are getting there like, oh, it's clear here, but maybe by the time you get there, there could be fog.
I was also going to bring up, you want to hear from viewers too, safely, if they are driving into work in their morning and they see something, particularly, a road or an area, let you know about it. Absolutely.
You can do that on my Facebook page, Catherine Bracho WBAY, or Catherine Bracho WBAY on Instagram, or we have WBAY.com/photos where you can always submit photos. But yeah, the point about being safe, that's really important. When we have visibility like this, distracted driving can be even more problematic, more dangerous. So really put down the cell phone on such a foggy morning. Every day you need to do that, but especially today.
All right, Catherine, thank you. And we are continuing our team coverage here this morning. We have Emily Roberts, who's been live out on the road since very early this morning. You started your morning in Green Bay. Tell us, where are you right now and what are you seeing?
Tammy, Emerson, you can see just how dense this fog is driving south on 43 towards Sheboygan. I mean, you might be able to see some of these trees on the side of the road here, and every time we go by a cluster of these trees, they just look so eerie. They look like shadows because of how dense this fog is in front of them. But this isn't even as bad as some of the areas our crew has seen so far. I mean, I said it when I got into work early this morning. I put on my brave girl pants driving on Interstate 41 around 2 a.m. I have to use a Taylor Swift song to describe my trip. It felt treacherous, almost no visibility at some points. I was gripping the wheel tight, and a similar experience for people around 23 and 43 in the Sheboygan area right now. Some of the thickest fog near the lake shore around the 7 o'clock hour. During our Action 2 News shows this morning, I drove back on 41 and that fog really cleared up from Green Bay all the way down to Fond du Lac. It was like night and day compared to what I had driving to work initially early that morning. So I've really been on an adventure today, and I imagine some of your experiences might be similar when you're commuting. So just goes to show how fast all of this can change and how important it is to be mindful on those roads.
And a big shout out to Emily, of course, in the passenger seat there, and photojournalist Chris Shattle, who's been driving. As I said, all over northeast Wisconsin this morning, giving us a live look at those roads out there. They do so with the snow, with the rain sometimes, with the fog here, and yeah, it's changed throughout the day as they've gone to different spots.
Yeah, we appreciate that. It gives us all a look at the different parts of the area out there, so appreciate that, Emily and Chris. And now we want to head to Kristen Allen, who's been out live this morning. This is a story that we've been following now for a while, Kristen, and overnight there were volunteers out trying to find out a number of people who are living on the streets. This is happening in Green Bay. So tell us about this count, this point-in-time homeless count. That's what it's called.
Good morning. Yes, they call it the point-in-time homeless count because it's really meant to give you a snapshot of what the homelessness picture in the community looks like right in that point in time. And it doesn't just happen in Green Bay or Brown County. It's happening across the state as well, and it's a county-by-county situation. So there were volunteers that go out. They were out in Brown County overnight, finishing up around 4:30 this morning, starting at 11 o'clock last night, and literally looking for people who are homeless all across the county and counting those people to get an idea of who's living on the streets.
And Kristen, this helps with funding and resources that are received. How many people were they able to find during that count overnight?
Well, the answer is a little bit complex. So when volunteers are out, there's people from the Housing Coalition and an agency called NewCap, and then volunteers that they look for from the community as well who go out and help. So they go out and look for people who are homeless, and what they do is when they find someone who is homeless, they approach them and ask if they can talk to them, and then they record their demographic information and get some information from them, and also give them resources. In order to be able to count that person, they have to be able to talk to them and record their demographic information. So they were able to talk to 38 people overnight during their count. However, they found an additional 28 people also living on the streets, and those additional 28 people either did not want to talk to them, or they may have been sleeping in their cars and they were unable to wake them up.
Wow, that's unbelievable, and that's just in that one area. Can you explain kind of where they're out in what areas looking for people, Kristen?
Yeah, so each county will have their sort of designated routes that they do all the time. I asked, how do you find people? How do you know where to go? And they said they know of certain hot spots, in the community where there are people who are living. There's certain parking lots that they go to that they know is a common place where people who are living in their cars will go to sleep overnight. And then they look in places that, you might think, like, for example, we are under an overpass right now under the Mason Street Bridge. So this might be a place, or in certain parks, or just certain areas that they know they may be able to find someone.
All right, Kristen Allen reporting live in Green Bay. Kristen, we appreciate your efforts out there this morning. And now we're turning our attention to a first alert, because there's a popular cough syrup that's being recalled because of contamination out there.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, this has me. I have to check when I go home.
I know, we do too, because you never know. I mean, we have at least 2 people sick at home. I know you guys, we've talked about people at home getting sick. And
this is the time of the year for it.
It is.
It's
We've
just
got
filled.
cold, flu, COVID, RSV, all the ickies out there, right? So this is really important. So when I saw this, I was like, I got to get this one in today. So let's get over to the First Alert Safety Desk. So this is for Halion Healthcare. They own Robitussin, and so they're talking about a contamination. It's a microbial contamination. So it's for the CF Max Day and Honey CF Max Nighttime. This is what you need to look for. The contaminated products, by the way, they've got expiration dates for this year and next year. With the fact that there's a bunch of letters and numbers for the lot numbers, we have them on our website, WBAY.com, to make it easy for you, just so you could double check. But Halion, the company, says it hasn't heard of anybody getting sick just yet with these products. But if you do, definitely want to report that. But the FDA says if you're immunocompromised, this is really important. Using this could bring you a risk because of possible severe life-threatening fungal infection, which is kind of scary. So you definitely just want to, get rid of it.
Yeah, for sure. And if you have questions or anything like that, I mean, I know you said we have all this on our website.
Yeah.
And you don't want to take it, you just want to get rid of it.
Yeah, so throw it away, don't take any more of it, just double check your cabinets. The number is 1-800-245-1040, but like you said, Tammy, we've got everything on WBAY.com, but just such an important one. I want to make sure that we follow up on this just so we know that everybody's staying safe.
Keeping us safe at the First Alert Safety Desk. We appreciate your work over there, and we want to look ahead to something happening in our area today now. Now, Tammy, we were talking camping, hit or miss, depending. This looks like it would be fun camping, though.
Right?
This is like glamping.
Is this camping?
Yeah, this is fantastic. It's the 4-day Green Bay RV and Camping Expo. It starts today at the Resch Expo from 3 to 8, and then it runs until Sunday. You can buy camping gear. There will be exclusive show deals on campers as well, or just look around and dream if you want to imagine having all this stuff.
All the fun stuff that goes along with camping. And they have a s'more fun. You love this? I got to say that this morning. S'more fun during the weekend expo. On Sunday, you can make your own s'mores while you're out there. And then Saturday, you can make your own trail mix. They have tickets for $15 for adults. And then a note here, military, first responders, and seniors will get a discount. And then tomorrow, all military and veterans can get in for free. Yeah, look at those RVs. I mean, those are really,
air
really
conditioning,
nice.
cranking in there. You got probably Wi-Fi in some of those. That's
so
not
nice.
bad. That's good camping.
Yeah,
I'm not a huge sweets person, but s'mores, you can't go wrong with a s'more, right?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, before we go, Great Britain and the United States are at a boiling point over tea. A U.S. scientist claims the perfect cup is made with a pinch of added salt. Huh.
Interesting.
Claiming a tiny addition isn't enough to taste, but it's needed to reduce the bitterness of tea. So now that scientist apparently is in hot water.
Look at all the puns this morning.
Right?
Some Brits furious that their national drink is being messed with by Americans who prefer the iced variety. I agree there, or even coffee. The U.S. Embassy in the UK has distanced themselves from the idea and ensured that adding salt to tea is not official U.S. policy. Some might say that the Brits are a little bit salty over this recipe.
What's your tea? What's your tea that you like?
I'm like addicted to Arnold Palmer, if you can count that as tea. The lemonade iced tea mix, I just
You're like, can't
burn
wait to get home
through
and
that
have your
stuff.
Arnold Palmer.
It's a problem. It's probably, I should have bought stock in Arnold Palmer with how much I drink it.
You want some sweetness to
Yeah.
it.
I just,
drink.
you add a little bit of sweetness. The lemonade in
Yeah.
there, it cuts it nice, and yeah, I don't know.
Even in the winter, you drink it.
Oh,
Cold.
three gallons a week.
Oh, wow.
Burn right through
Ellen.
it.
Wow.
Not healthy, I know.
Man,
I gotta work on that.
in you, man.
I'm sharing my dark secrets right now. I gotta work on that a little bit.
And
but-
I'm total coffee, but then I do like a cup of tea like in the afternoon.
Sure.
Or kind of later in the evening, kind of to wind down. No caffeine in the tea.
And we've talked about, we talk so much
Yes.
during the day. Like sometimes when you get the sore throat, so you're dealing with
Yes.
colds or whatnot. I mean, there's some really great
Yes.
teas out there that can help with that.
I just
and
picked up one on your
they're-
recommendation.
they work fantastic.
Just to have it on
It's
hand
wonderful.
in
Just
case
be
I have
ready.
a sore throat. So, well, it is great to have you with us here, a little behind the scenes. And so we're getting ready for our on-air news update during Good Morning America.
That's right. We'll give you the bird's eye view of the studio that so many of you have said that you enjoy so much, as we all give a big wave as Catherine and Steve prepare for that cut. And you can watch
Here
it
comes
on
Steve.
air and on live as well. There's Steve over here. Have a great Thursday, everybody. We'll see you for Friday Fun Day tomorrow morning.